Hey guys, what's going on? Back here with another update regarding the Proline Fireworks Ohio Fire Code thing that's been going on here. I have some bad news. It's not news that we were hoping for. But yesterday the JCARR committee, they did meet to go over the procedures and to basically then amend the rules and whatnot for the fire code, and it's bad. So from the original, I guess, verbiage of the proposal, half of it was taken out, roughly half of it. The part where they wanted to reclassify 1.4 Pro as 1.3, that was taken out. There were some other things regarding transport and stuff like that that were removed, and a few other random things. But the big problem still remains, and now will go into effect November 20th. In order to buy these products as a person from Ohio, and I'm still getting clarification on what will happen to out-of-state individuals purchasing Proline products, whether you're just a backyard person or you're a display company or whatever. But in order to buy these products as an Ohioan now, you're going to have an exhibitor's license, or excuse me, exhibitor's permit and a license, a display shooter's license to be able to buy these products. The problem is with the process we have here in Ohio. In order to get the permit, you have to have a list of products that you have available and purchased to then get that permit issued, and you have to submit that. But the way this reads, basically they're saying the opposite, and you can't buy the product, but you need the permit to buy the product. And so it's one of those catch-22 situations, basically, where you have to have one to get the other, but to get the other, you have to have that. So in order to buy the product, you have to have a permit, but in order to get the permit, you have to already have the product. Well, it's going to screw a lot of people over, not just backyard enthusiasts like myself, who won't be able to buy it at all, but the display companies now are basically going to have to treat it as 1.3, and obviously with not being able to even get it and able to get a permit, it basically, all of this product now is going to be stuck in limbo. And especially for the 225th or 250th, excuse me, birthday of the United States coming up for 2026, it's going to cause a lot of problems. It's, display companies are not going to be able to use this product. It's going to be very hard to obtain it and get it. Any kind of holiday events, things like that, concerts, all that kind of stuff, sporting events where these products are used, display companies, it's going to be very hard for them, very difficult. And a lot of people are upset by it. You can no longer possess it. You have to have the permit. So if you have it in your possession, from what I understand, if you do not have the permit and you're not using it for the show, you're basically a criminal, and you'll basically be a felon. And they will treat it as if you were in possession of 1.3 illegally. People like myself, I've been accumulating Pro products for several years now in anticipation for the 250th, but also just so I have extra stock around in case I need it, and whatnot, and also for demoing purposes and safety things that I wanted to do here in the future. Make those type of videos. I wanted to do more videos specifically with Proline and Article Pyrotechnics fireworks, but obviously that's not going to happen now. So all of that's in limbo. I know, talking to an individual that has a display company here in Ohio, they had American Wholesale reached out to them and said, hey, we know you have this order, and we just want to know what you want to do with it. And they ended up canceling that order because they didn't want to put any chance on it of potentially even being raided or being contacted by the state fire marshals going, hey, why do you have this product? And so that's kind of also a fear right now too, is that there could be a potential for government confiscations. They're going to go after records to see who people that have bought this stuff, when they bought it, and then go take it from them. Obviously it's just a rumor. We don't have that confirmed, but it is something, just like with the firearms industry and the ATF, this is a similar situation. So it's very serious. I plan to reach out to Sabrina Nichols because I know she had more than once given public testimony, and she was speaking not only on behalf of herself, but of the NFA. And there was the hearing, like I said yesterday, with the JCARR committee, and I will put a link to that entire situation, that entire hearing, I guess, in the description, link to that. If you scroll to about 14 minutes in, that's when the testimony starts. The thing that really upset myself and a lot of others was the fact that the head of the committee basically said, thanks for coming, but we already, made this decision, so your public comment doesn't matter. And that's a major problem because government shouldn't be saying things like that. And, if a lawsuit were to come up, that could be because it's on public record. That could be used against the state of Ohio. And so, basically them admitting, well, we already made up our mind, we don't care about your public comment. So that's very frustrating. But like I said, I'm going to get in contact with Sabrina Nichols and the rest of them up at American Wholesale and just talk to them just so I have some better understanding of everything that's going on, because I guess there were multiple revisions. People were not properly contacted that did submit public testimony, which thank you to everyone that did. That's a huge thank you to all of you who submitted testimony. There were over 700 testimonies that were submitted, either written or orally. So that's huge, and I'm glad that people did that. And I know for a fact that my videos getting out there definitely helped boost those numbers. I'm not going to take credit for all 700, but I will definitely take a small portion of those numbers and take credit for that, because I do talk to a lot of people in the industry and fellow pyros and things like that in different groups and areas, and so people are informed and whatnot. But it is what it is. So, like I said, I'm going to talk to them, see where they're at, what the plan is. My suggestion is something that was actually recommended by one of the JCARR board members, maybe even one or two of them. They suggested that because obviously it was more a hearing for, not for necessarily changing it, but for looking for violations, that they would be in favor of going and updating the laws in the Ohio Revised Code to help better reflect more modern laws and regulations, since fireworks laws have changed on the federal level, and obviously product has changed over time too. So I want to push the idea that I've been trying to push in the past with obviously getting regulations changed, and so I'm going to talk to them about that. I've already emailed my state representative. I've talked to her in the past as well with the fireworks stuff. She is pro fireworks, which is good. We sat down for what, an hour almost, and talked about stuff back in February. So she is well informed, and we have talked back and forth since about various things that have come up in situations. So I really want to push that idea of getting some type of a bill into the state legislature to get this fixed, hopefully before the 250th, and we can get it back into the hands of the trained people and not have it be a complete disaster. So I need people to go. If you're in the state of Ohio, please contact your state representative and say, hey, here's the situation. These products we're not going to be able to purchase. There's a lot of problems with it. There were problems with the entire Ohio Fire Code proposal when this stuff happened. And, we want to have this stuff available. We need to modernize our fireworks laws. We need to push for more safety and things like that, so that people can use these who are qualified, who have taken the training programs and have firing systems, give them the ability to still use it, but not have to go through licensing and permitting and insurance and all like that for a backyard show. The other option that's been floating around is lawsuits. I'm almost guaranteeing that something will happen. If that does happen, the lawsuit comes against the state of Ohio or against JCARR or the state fire marshal or whoever. I will obviously keep you guys updated with that, but that is something that's been floating around, has been talked about, and people are now more in favor of suing the government than before when it came to situations like this and whatnot. But like I said, we're going to see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated on that kind of thing. But for now, my suggestion is if you are in the state of Ohio, please contact your state representative and say, hey, we need to get a bill to fix to fix this and to modernize our fireworks code so that the pro-line items and pro-use items, articles, pyrotechnic, that kind of stuff, is not classified as a 1.3, and defined as a 1.3 product, display product. It's defined as a 1.4 article pyrotechnic product that's exempt and can be used by trained individuals, who have training, certificates and things like that. So we need to redefine it so that it actually fits within our consumer and our 1.4 laws here in Ohio. I don't really have much else. I'm going to keep you guys updated. Like I said, I'm going to put the link down to the committee hearing. I'll put that down in the description. Scroll to about 14 minutes in, and you'll be able to see the testimony from several people. I'm also, and I've talked to a few people already about this, and it was actually suggested by someone else, but creating a committee specifically for stakeholders or in the pyrotechnics industry in Ohio, whether it's display companies or retailers and wholesalers in the state of Ohio, getting a board or a committee or a stakeholders group or something put together and creating kind of like an association, I guess, or whatever, so that they can lobby for safety in Ohio for fireworks. That way, when things do change, they can stay on top of it. But then also getting our fireworks laws more modernized and pushing to educate people and the general public on just safe use of fireworks in general and that kind of thing. So I'm going to also talk to Sabrina and them about that, and talk to others who are display company individuals in the clubs here in Ohio about that and see what they think. I know people would be on board with it. From the few people I have talked to, they do support it. So hopefully we're going to see where that goes. So other than that, I don't really think I have anything else for you guys. But as of right now, if you're in Ohio here soon, you're not going to be able to buy the Pro-Line stuff, and you may be contacted by American Wholesale via email or phone call or whatever. Obviously, if you're out of state, I don't have the answers about what's going to happen with that, but when I do find out, I will make a post on it real quick. I'm assuming the out-of-state people won't be as affected as much. More it pertains to the people of Ohio that reside here, but like I said, we need to look into. I'm going to look into that and find out specifically and let you guys know. So that's what I have. That's what's going on. Just please share this everywhere you can, because people need to know what's going on and they need to stay informed. So that's what I got, and we'll see you guys in the next one.